Welcome guys. Today I'm going to teach you about series and some of the series. Before we start, I'd like to tell you that let me just draw my sequence. This thing is a sequence, you see guys, and this thing is a series, you see guys. A sequence has a comma on its middle between numbers, has a comma between numbers, and a series has a positives between numbers, you see guys. Or it can be like this way, a series, it can be like this way. Let me just wrap here for a moment. It can be this way. It can be -2, -5, and -7. It can be this way, -2 plus, -5 plus, -7. This way, you see. This is a sequence, this is a series. Or it can be like this guys, like this. -2, -5, -7. It is a series, you see. I just removed those positive. Remember, positive multiplied by negative, it's a negative. So I just removed those positive guys, you see, like that. And then when we represent the sum of like, for an example, let me give you a term. Let me give you a sequence: 2, 5, 7. Right? Remember, this is T1, right? This is T2, this is T3, right? When we represent sum, we represent it by S. You see guys, S1 is equals to what? To T1, because of it is a sum of what? Of one term, this term, which is what? Which is 2. And S2 is equals to what? T1 plus T2. When I'm saying S2, I'm referring to that, I'm saying that I'm calculating the sum of two terms, which is what? T1 is going to be 2 and T2 is going to be 5. And it is going to be to give me what? 7. That 2 plus 5, you see. And it continues that way guys. You can say sum of what? You can say sum of 3 terms is equals to what? T1 plus T2 also plus T3. Like that. You can put 2 here, you can put 5 here, you can put 7 here, and add them. You see, when I'm saying S3, I mean sum of 3 terms. I mean these 3 terms added together. You see guys. And there's something I like to share with you for a moment. T1, it is equals to S1. We all know that, right guys? I just told you. T2, it is equals to what? S2 minus S1. You see guys. And T3, it is equals to what? S3 minus S2. Like this guys. T3, it is equal to what? To S3 minus S2. Remember, T1, it is sum of one term. And our one term is what? Is 2. Which means we are going to get 2 here. You see? T2, it is sum of what? 2 terms minus sum of the what? Of one term. Which means that I'm going to put 2 here. Sum of 2 terms is what? It is 7. Sum of 2 terms, it is what? It is 7 plus 5, which gives me something around Sum of sum of one term, I'm going to put 2 here. Remember, sum of 2 terms is what? If it's 2 plus 5, which is, it is going to give me what? 7. You see? So I'm going to get my T2. It's going to be 7 here minus 2, and I'm going to get what? T2, which is 5. Like that, guys. You can cram it like that. If you were given, like for an example, let me just explain it a little simpler. If you were given the sum of what? The sum of 2 terms, the sum of 2 terms, and the sum of the of one term, you can find what? T2. And if you were given the sum of what? Let me just say S2. The sum of 3 terms and the sum of 2 terms, you can still find what? T3. Just like that. Just like that, guys. Just like that. You see? And there's something I forgot to tell you about. In order to show that this term, in order to show that this sequence, you see this sequence, in order to show that this sequence is an arithmetic sequence, it means that T2 minus T1 must be equals to what? To T3 minus T2. You see? Like that. Remember, T2 minus T1 is what? Is 3. Plus 3. Let me just put 8 here for a moment. Let me just put 8 here for a moment. And make my what? My term, my sequence simpler. Let me just put 8 here. Let me just put 8 here. 8 here. Like this, guys. Like this. So, I can show that this sequence, I can prove that this sequence is what? It is an arithmetic sequence. If I prove that my sequence it is an arithmetic sequence, which means that I might show that T2 minus T1, it is equals to what? To T3 minus T2. Like this, guys, like this. You see? Which means that here I'm going to sub my second term, which is 5. You see? Here I'm going to sub my first term, which is 2. Here I'm going to sub my third term, which is 8. Here I'm going to sub my second term, which is what? 5. You see? Then I must get the answer, the same answer on the what? On the left and on the right of my equation. You see? Therefore, I have proved that my sequence is what? Is an arithmetic sequence. You see, guys? You see? I can also prove I can also prove, guys, listen. I can also prove, let me just write my sequence for the moment. 2, 4, and what? And 8. I can also prove that this sequence of mine, it is what? It is a geometric sequence. What I must do is I must do this. I must prove that T2 over T1, it is equals to what? To T3 over T2. My left answer must be equal to the right answer in order for me to prove that this is a geometric sequence. If they are not equal, which means that this is not a geometric, it is not a geometric sequence, it is something else. You see, guys? You see, girls? So, yeah, that is all I wanted to talk about. You see, guys? So let me move to some of what some of the series, you see, of arithmetic. uh, Before I'd like to start, they said that I'd like to start. I'd like to introduce you to my to this formula. You see, guys, this formula like this: Sn, it is equals to what? To n over 2 multiplied by 2a multiplied by what? N over 2 multiplied by 2 a. It seems like I forgot it for the moment. This what? N over 2, it is equal to what? 2a plus d, right, into n minus 1. You see, this formula, or what, Sn is equals to what? To a plus what? Plus l, where l is our what? Is our last term. You see, guys, or let me just write or. These formulas, they are designed to help us to what? To find the what? The sum of our terms. Like for an example, instead of me calculating what? The sum of 20 terms using my head, I'm just using this formula. These formulas. You see, guys, I'm going to show you how. You see, instead of me just completing the sequence up to 20 terms and adding those 20 terms together, I can just use this formula. You see, guys, you see, I'm just going to show you how to do it by using these two formulas. But first, I'd like you to introduce you to my what? To introduce you to the variables. Remember, Sn, it is what? Sum of my terms. Like sum of 20 terms, sum of 30 terms, it is that value. You see, that value that I get when I adding my terms. You see, and n, it is my number of terms. You see, guys, this n, it is my number of terms. If I have 20 terms, I'm going to put 20 there. A, it is my first term. My first term in this case, it is what? My first term in this case, it is minus 1, so I'm going to put minus 1 here. And then D, it is my constant difference. You see, guys, just like that, just like that, just like it is my constant difference. You see, I sub those, then I get my sum of 20 terms. Just like that. Let me introduce you to my other equation here. Remember, this is my sum of n terms, Sn, and then n, this is my number of terms. You see, A, it is my first term. Remember, L, this L, it is my last term. If I know my last term, I can just use this formula, jump straight at it. But if I don't know my last term, I can use this formula. You see, this formula, because of I have what? My N, my A, my D. You see, I can just find my Sn. You see, just like that, just like that. And remember, you must have what? In this formula, you must have 3 things and look for only one thing. Also here you must have what? Let me just clear it so that it can look clean. Here you can find 2 things. You can have 2 things. They must give you 2 things, and you must find what? One thing only. Just like that. Let's just do that question above. Our question says that find the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. You see, they call it series because of it has positives on the middle between numbers. You see, first, here is what we are going to do. We are going to copy our formula like that. Minus 1 plus 3 plus 7. You see, guys, from there, we are going to what? To determine our what? Our A. Our A is what? Our A is our first term, which is what? Minus 1. You see, guys, from there, we are going to check whether this is an arithmetic sequence or it is a geometric sequence. We are going to say T2 minus T1 is going to be what? 3 minus 1. You see, guys, and it is going to give us what? 4. Like that, guys. You see, so we are going to check what? T3 minus T2 and see what it gives us. It's going to give 7 minus 3. We are also going to get 4. You see, T2 minus T1, it is equals to what? To T3 minus T2. Therefore, my sequence, it is what? It is an arithmetic sequence. So therefore, I can use the formula for what? For arithmetic. I can use the formula, I can use the formula of an arithmetic sequence. You see, that formula we just spoke about. Because of that formula, it is the formula for the what? For the arithmetic series. You see, guys, just like that. So remember, we just determined our what? Our A. Our A is this what? It is equals to minus 1. Just like that, our first term. But our D, it is equals, since it is an arithmetic sequence, we are going to represent our constant as what? As D. Remember, our D, it is what? T2 minus T1 is going to be 3 minus 1, just like that. We are going to get 4. You see, guys, it is important for you, right, to show this calculation. Do not just skip to the answer. Show the examiner that you know your story, so that he can give you full marks, guys. You see, guys, my N, it is what? It is the number of terms. They told us that we must find the sum of 20 terms, which means that our number of terms, it is 20. So I'm going to put 20 here, like this, guys, like this. You see, then I'm going to use that formula. You see, since I have my A, I have my D, I have my N, I'm going to use the formula. This one, Sn is equals to what? N over 2 multiplied by what? 2A plus what? Plus D into N minus 1. Just like that. Just like that. I'm going to sub everything here and get what? My answer. You see, guys. You see, guys. So I'm going to say what? At N, I'm going to put 20. I'm going to say something like this. Let me, I don't know where I should write. I'm going to say my sum of what? S20. I'm just going to sub right now. I'm going to say S20. Where I see N, I put 20. Just like this. Over 2. Into what? Into 2. Remember, my first term, it is minus 1. Like this, right? Plus what? Plus D. My second difference, it is what? It is 4. Right? Multiply by what? By 20 minus 1. Like this. Then I'm going to press my calculator. Let me press my calculator for a moment. Let me press it. Twenty over 2. Yeah, so my answer is what? Is 740. Just like that. Just like that, guys. Just like that. We are done. So before, so yeah, we are done with that example. I'd like to go to another example. Our another example, they say that how many terms in the arithmetic sequence? You see, guys, how many terms in the arithmetic sequence will add up to 175? You see, guys, they have already given us our what? Our SN. You see, our the value of our sum of our terms. You see, guys, they want to know the number of terms, which is n. You see, our n in this case, it is unknown. You see, since they want how many terms. You see, guys, our SN here, it is 175. You see, guys, they say that will add up to 175. They say they what? Those terms. They say that how many terms that must add up to one what? To 175. You see? So we have the sum of those terms. You see, guys. So they have told us to they've told us that this is an arithmetic sequence. So there's no need for us to check whether it is an arithmetic or a geometric. You see, guys. So our A, it is our first term, which is what? Which is 4. Like that, guys, like that. You see? So our what? Our D. Since it is an arithmetic sequence, we are going to deal with D. Our D, it is what? It is T2 minus T1. You see? Our T2, our term number 2, it is what? It is 7. You see, guys? And our term number 1, it is what? It is 4. It is going to be 7 minus 4. Like this, guys, like this. So we are going to get what? 3. You see? Like that. Or you can just say T3. You can just say T4 minus T3 or T3 minus T2. We are going to get the same answer. At T4 minus T3, you are going to get 10 minus 13 and your answer will be 3. Just like that. You see, guys? Just like that. So we are going to solve for n. We are going to look for n. So we are going to that formula of ours. We are going to say Sn, it is equals to what? To n over 2, like this, guys. To n over 2 multiplied by 2a plus d into n minus 1. Like this, guys, like this. You see? Our Sn, it is 175. You see, guys? And our n over 2, we just don't know our n. Then we are going to say multiply by what? By 2. Our first term, it is what? It is 4. You see, guys? Plus d. Our d, it is what? Is 3 into what? N minus 1. Like this, guys, like this. From there, we solve for n. You see? We can just solve for n. Let me just solve it quick on a piece of paper and what? And get straight to the answer instead of me calculating it manually. You see, guys? So my n will be 10. You see, guys? My n will be equals to 10. Just like that, just like that. I just guessed, but I know that my n, it will be 10. Don't ask me how. You just solve for n. You'll find that it is 10. You see, guys? Just like that. Just like that. So thank you guys for watching, for being with me in this video. See you next time in our next video. In our next video, I'm going to discuss some of the series of geometric sequence or geometric series. Adios.